Money Matters with Hill Financial Group. I'm Mike Hill. This is Casey Harding. We are two financial planners here in the Midlothian community over here on Highlander Avenue next to Union 28 here in Big Bad Midlothian, Texas. We're up here. We were gracious enough to be able to be one of the first to come up here to the Union 28 new speakeasy that's upstairs. So if you see the barrels and all that, no, we're not down below in a bunker or anything like that. We're actually upstairs at the speakeasy of Union 28. If you haven't been here and checked out the speakeasy, please do so. It's a pretty cool vibe up here. But me and Casey, we've been partners now for about 3.5 years. I've been here in Midlothian since 2008 personally, and we'll get into that here in a second. But we just wanted to start this podcast. Who doesn't have a podcast? I think the guy that mows our yards now over here at the building, he has a podcast. It doesn't matter. We just want to join in on the fun and, sit at the cool kids table, basically. So I have had the gracious person off camera, Haley, to ask us some questions. So we at least look like we know what we're doing a little bit. But I welcome y'all. If you've watched this far, I hope you enjoy this. We're going to try to do this every week and have updates every Thursday following this Thursday. So thank you for joining.
Okay. All right, Casey, what drew you into the financial field?
Man, I really just had a heart for wanting to serve people that were having questions about their financial life, whether it be investing, whether it be preparing for retirement, figuring out how much they would need to save to get to retirement, just whatever it might be. I wanted to be their resource here locally in Midlothian. That's where I grew up. I wanted to be a resource to this community. So just helping people achieve their financial goals and find out what those are and making a plan to help them meet those.
Mike, what drew you to the financial field?
He has a much better response than me. Mine was, honestly, I was pretty good at math. I've always liked numbers. I was already investing a little bit in stocks. There was a couple of books when I was younger that changed my life besides the Bible, of course, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's changed everything because I was one of those that had a dad that did some investing and I had a stepdad that worked all the time in a blue collar job. And so it really rang true with me. And I like the idea of compounding interest. And quite frankly, my grandfather worked for Merrill Lynch back in the 50s. So I kind of wanted to do something. My first internship was with Merrill Lynch. Didn't like it. I won't say anything bad on camera, but there's a reason they didn't do well in 2008. And we'll just leave it at that. So, but no, really enjoy helping people. Been doing this now 27.5 years, 28 years come June. And just really love it. Love meeting people and helping them plan for their daughter's wedding, helping them plan for their newborn baby's college, helping them plan for a retirement, maybe a year early if we do our job right. Those are really great meetings that it's personal. It is 1,000% personal. And these are people, I've had clients for 25 years and now I'm helping their grandkids. So it's great to be a part of that. And I don't know of any other profession where you get to be a part of somebody's life for as long as we do through different stages of their life and help them navigate. That would be the one reason why I do this.
Perfect. Mike, how did you get started?
How to get started? I am a graduate of A&M. So is Casey. We only have Aggies in our office now, but graduate of A&M, got my finance degree. Like I said, it was something that just really interested me in college. Finance classes were the ones that I was doing really well in. The management classes, not so much. So I knew I wasn't going to be a manager. And I had a friend that was going into the field, but I knew from very early, I kind of wanted to do something on my own. And I went out and started our own firm in 2001 when I was only 27 years old. It wasn't easy, a lot of growing pains. But yeah, it's something that I was like, if I'm going to invest, I'd like to invest for myself and learn a lesson or two and invest for others. And hopefully I'm maybe getting a little bit good at it after 28 years. We'll see. The judge is still out. So.
Yeah, Casey, how did you get started?
Yeah, so I did go to A&M. I was an education major, but it just wasn't the right fit for me. So I jumped off into the business world, just learning kind of the insurance and retirement areas and just started talking to people about investing in mutual funds at my first kind of corporate job. And as I had those conversations over time, just really felt this tug in my heart that the Lord was putting there of wanting to come alongside people and help them understand where they should be investing their money and how much they need to be saving. And as I, got into more of those conversations, I ended up getting my licenses and my CFP so that I could just better understand how to educate my clients on what's best for them and asking good questions to pull out what was most important to them, all of those things. And so that just having a heart to serve and steward what people had worked so hard for was really what got me into this.
How long have you been doing this?
So I've been at this now for 10 years. Really, 11 years now, started this year. So really just worked for a corporate job and then met Mike not too long ago. And coming over here really just changed the game with being rooted here in Midlothian and just serving the community.
Perfect.
And I just learned something. I didn't know he was in education major. Known him almost 4 years now. I had no idea, but I like that because, not to steal his point there, but we love doing client workshops. I love teaching. I think that's what our job is. Our job is we are not salesmen. And if that's what you expect when you come to us, you've got the wrong firm. We are not going to sell you. We're going to educate to the best of our ability and be jealous almost of the kind of service that we give you to a point to where you feel like you're getting amazing service. But I think teaching is at our core of everything that we do. And I can't stress that makes sense. I didn't know that. I used to coach youth sports and all that. And it's just in your DNA. You either like to be a coach or a teacher or you don't. So
tell me a little bit about how you met Casey and then what stood out about Casey that made you want him to join your team.
So people on the podcast, if you didn't know, the person standing behind Haley Kurth is in my office. Her and her husband, they do an amazing podcast, but they also do an amazing group, real estate underneath them. So if you need a house or anything, look up, hey, there's your plug. But Haley, we were doing a 4th of July event in my parking lot. I was actually in the dunking booth at that event. So don't get too excited. I may not do that again. But, and she invited Casey and we just started talking at that 4th of July event many, many moons ago. And I found out he's from Midlothian and, he's a competitor. I didn't give him the stink eye, but I was like, well, if you want to come over and, see how the other half lives, come over here, and been friends and partners ever since.
Casey, what stood out to you whenever you and Mike started having these conversations? What stood out that made you pull towards Hill Financial?
Yeah, I think when me and Mike met for the first time, we just had a conversation about philosophy of what we wanted for our clients, and those were in line. That philosophy of coming alongside them, having the thought of this is their livelihood, this is what they worked so hard for, and we're being entrusted with it. And so we want to be a good steward of them and just take good care of them while providing excellent service and communication and explaining why we're doing what we're doing.
Mike, what do you think sets you and your team apart in your industry?
First and foremost, when your name's on the door, it kind of means something. And I know it's Hill Financial, but Kate, every client we meet with, we are not working for a big firm. We are literally working for the client. We are an advisor. That's how we're different. We're not there to sell Fidelity products or Schwab products or TD Ameritrade or Edward Jones. We're not there to sell you what they have on their shelf. Our job is to meet with you, put a plan together first, like when you're building a house. But the biggest difference would be with us is we are the person that's going to help you build that a complete financial house. But if you were to buy a car from a Chevrolet dealership, they're going to show, and you say, I want a fast car. They're going to show you a Camaro. They're going to show you a Corvette. They're not going to show you a Mustang. They're not going to show you a Dodge Challenger, whatever. That's the only cars I know, though. But they're only going to show you what's on their lot. You come in and we're like, look, our job is to figure out what your goals are, and we can show you any tool to get there. Now, we're going to sit here and say, that car's you wanted fuel economy. That plan's a little bit too risky and a little bit too fast. But just sign here and here saying, I told you how fast that car is going to be, et cetera, et cetera. But to us, that's what's different. I love being independent. Every day, the only person we can blame are ourselves. If we are not giving the service, if we're not giving the advice, if we're not doing everything we can in our power to do everything we can for the client, then we're not doing our job. And there is no quotas except for what we give to ourselves. Our job is not to, i.e., make as much money off of our clients. And not to get into it, but that's where me and his were aligned. I can't tell you enough, and this is being both believers. Every single day, our mantra is do everything you can for the client. You will be repaid back. Either now or later, it does come back to you. And that has been true my entire life. And I think that's how we're different. We're not sitting down with clients, sitting there thinking, what do I get out of this? It comes later. So I didn't mean to steal the thunder there, but that's how we're different.
I was about to ask you what your core value is, and then you just said it.
Sorry.
You nailed that one.
Sorry.
Nailed that one. But I'm going to ask Casey, what motivates you? Because it can be tough. You are still a small business in a big money world, right? Yeah. So what motivates you with your clients and with your business?
Yeah. So, really it's that they have peace of mind. That when they come in the door, we do a review, that they feel confident, that we have given them the advice that's going to allow them to go into those retirement years with, what I said, peace of mind. And that's what motivates me the most. And just seeing people, want and desire to live generously with what they've been given.
Perfect. All right, we're going to switch gears and we're going to pull into the community because y'all are heavy into the community, giving back, all of that stuff right here. So, Mike, what brought you to Midlothian, Ellis County, this community?
Well, we were having our first child. We had our first child, She was 4 years old. I have two daughters. And sorry, Casey has two daughters too. That's another way that we're aligned. I think Casey was just looking for a financial planner with the H in his name, so the letterhead stayed, but we won't go there. But a long story short, she was 4 years old, going into kindergarten. We had a 2-year-old at the time, and I was on the school board where we lived, and I was kind of seeing how the school district was going. I really didn't agree with a lot of the things they were doing. So we looked up school districts in between Plano and where I lived down there in a small town called Hubbard, where I graduated high school in the whole 9 yards. And we looked for a small town that was within driving distance, I say that, to Plano, and because I had an office up there, and we just loved the school district and found a house that we fell in love with. And both of our girls went from kindergarten through 12 in the Midlothian ISD. Some of you watching this will know, you'll turn it off because you recognize me from all the youth sports. I used to run the basketball league here in town. I coached the girls in soccer and basketball and all the things, and just always loved giving back. Currently, that's been huge. I love doing things for the community because, again, your heart should be 100% to give as much as you can to your community, to your family, to the people that you work with. And if you're repaid back every day with blessings that you may not even know about. And so I was very proud of our clients. They helped us this year. We did the toy drive with the Marines. And we had more than any, that was our goal. We had more toys donated by our clients and ourselves than any other business in Ellis County. And I'm bragging, but I don't care. That's something that's near and dear because I grew up very poor. So sometimes a really cool toy is all you get at Christmas. So, and then we do a lot of things in the community as far as giving away. We do across the way, we hand out Christmas stockings every year to the residents over there. So it's fun. I love doing that kind of stuff. I wish I could do a lot more, but what we do, I think it's going to continue and just get bigger.
Yeah, Casey, what drew you to the Midlothian Ellis County community?
Yeah, so I grew up here. My family moved here when I was in 8th grade, so went 8th grade through high school, graduated 2002 from Midlothian High, and then went off to A&M, ventured off to Tyler, working at a Christian summer camp out there at Pine Cove for a few years, and then found my way back to the DFW area and landed in the financial planning world, which my wife and I moved back here in 2019 to Midlothian because of the schools, because of this is where I grew up, and I wanted to be a resource to the community that raised me. That's ultimately what I wanted when I was looking to launch out into having my own financial planning practice, was be where I grew up and advocate and help the community that I grew up in flourish, which that's what I feel like is most important. Is having the people that live here have a financial advisor that also lives here and understands kind of what they're going through, what the city looks like, the challenges, the excellence that Midlothian provides. And so, that's what drew me.
Awesome. All right, last question, because y'all done really good. We're at like 18 minutes. So last question, Casey and then Mike. Casey, what do you hope your clients get from listening to this podcast?
Oh, I'd really just to get to know us on a personal level, that they can see that we have a heart for them and not ourselves, that we just desire, I think like I said at the beginning, to come alongside them and to be a resource as they're navigating and trying to answer those questions about, do I have enough to retire? When's the right time for me to retire? When Social Security, when do I start that? All of those questions that people have when they're entering that next season of life. But they understand who we are and what our heart is for them.
Perfect. All right, Mike.
Well, the first reason I wanted to do a podcast is I'm so old. I was thinking podcast was, you just listen to it in your car online. I didn't know there was going to be video to it because I definitely have the face for radio, not video. So that was kind of disheartening to know that this was going to be actually something that people watch. So I'm learning everything. All kidding aside, we do newsletters, we do dinners, we do client meetings, we do emails. And people are just bombarded with information. Did you read today what happened with the Windfall Act of Social Security? Did you read today what's going on with taxes? Did you see new Trump's plan for a border? Blah. Every day we're bombarded with news. How do you decipher from all of that? So hopefully we become that trusted advisor that for our clients, that we can do this on a more personal level. I know this isn't face-to-face, but we can hit more of a mass. Because our core belief is 100% education. It's 100%. We want to help you navigate these things. We want you to know that our job is to make sure you don't run out of money. We actually kid with clients when they come in. If you're coming in here and you're looking to become a millionaire and you're not a millionaire, I'm probably not going to make you one. My job is not to, there's an old joke, how do you make $1 million in the stock market? You start with 2 million. So I am more of the belief, my job, when you come to us, especially for retirement planning, is to make sure you don't run out of money. And I will have hard conversations with you. And you're like, I want to buy a Porsche every 2 years. I'm going to look at your stuff and say, probably not, maybe more of a Camry guy. Just saying, we can maybe have one later. But right. And those are the kind of things that I think we're going to help our clients never have to worry about running out of money. And that's so important to us. But our core beliefs with this podcast is to get our message across. I think when you say you're a financial advisor, it comes with that connotation, oh, you just talk about stocks, you just do this. We are 1,000% your main point of contact for your estate planning, for your tax planning. Not enough financial advisors do tax planning. 1,000%. We could sit here all day and say we're going to make you 10% a year. But if you only net 6 after taxes, I would rather have you invested in something that only makes 7 with less risk and still pay 6%, earn 6% after taxes. I think it gets completely lost. Still here in 2025, not enough financial planners focus on the tax planning concept, that process of your investing. And so I think that's where we're different. I think that's the message that we're going to try to get across. I'm hoping that when you watch these podcasts, that we have some funny times. You get to know us better. You get to know our personality. Maybe I'm the one wearing tennis shoes and Casey's the one wearing boots. But, it's going to be one of those things in these podcasts that hopefully we take issues that are important to the community, our clients, et cetera, and we give our take, but we try to, for lack of a better word, narrow the focus from a 30-minute that you would get on Fox News to a 5-minute clip. Hey, we're going to today talk about the new Social Security laws that just were passed. If you're over 62, you might want to listen to this for 5 minutes. And we get through the 2 hours of what you would have had to read on the Social Security Administration website. That's my goal, is to inform, but do it quickly. I know, me talking quickly, and do it with a way that people can understand without being too verbose, if I'm able to do that. So.
Well, guess what? You just finished your first episode.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job, Allison.
Get it.